We are recording.
Yeah.
Let's call this meeting to order. Get official here. Okay. We have a suggested order here, which has a selection of the chair and vice chair up as our first item.
I see the same here.
For
Chair.
when?
I think you did it to me
Doesn't
last
Jim
time.
have another year?
I'm a lame duck here.
What about you?
I already did it.
My,
I did my time.
No, vice chair moves to chair.
I've already done it.
Second. Oh.
Okay.
Any other nominations up for discussion?
So be careful.
Yeah, you got that right.
Oh, okay, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so far the ayes seem to have carried that.
The nominee
Actually,
vice chair.
I've been terribly remiss. I think introductions are also in order for Libby.
Yes. Hi, I'm Libby Gast. I'm looking forward to working with you all on this committee and contributing to the community in the best way I can. I have a little bit of a performing arts background, but have done some stuff with art literacy in schools and grant funding as worked in a PTA capacity in when my kids were in high school. So this is an area that I am really interested in, and I hope I can bring some experience and background and help out in any way you guys wish me to.
So how deep are your ties with Cannon Beach? I happen to know you, I'm ignorant, can you?
Okay, I have been a homeowner for about the last 8 years in Cannon Beach. I am a multiple generation Oregonian. Part of my family is a longtime Astoria area, back to the early 1900s there. And I, during COVID, kind of shifted our time. So we are residents in Cannon Beach for the majority of the time. So we are loving our switch from out of Portland and over there as our primary residence. So
Well, we welcome you and want to thank you for adding perspective to this committee there. When the meetings are full, there are 7 of us to give anywhere from 7 to 14 different perspectives on everything we will discuss.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That is great. Well, and we grew up, my husband and I both grew up spending quite a bit of time in our childhoods and on in the area. So, it is a place that's near and dear to us, shall we say.
Yeah.
Need a vice chair.
We do need a vice chair.
I nominate Greg Swinburne.
I second.
I welcome. Any discussion? Or whether this will be an old boys network?
Considering we're the only two that are here,
I see.
And haven't done it
and
yet.
haven't done it yet.
Right, yeah.
I thought about nominating Libby for president.
I was going to say, is this one of these rookie?
Well,
But watch out next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Within a year, you'll have institutional memories and
Yeah.
broader perspectives. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's the majority of votes that are present.
So is that after this meeting? You've got control of this meeting?
No,
Oh,
I
is
think-
that?
yeah, I should have.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it.
No.
yeah, well, now that we have a chair though, it will switch over to Steve.
Well, I passed a great run. Okay, let's go through this. I'll just say thank you for Julie for nominating me. I appreciate that vote of confidence, and Jim, you've done a great job. And I hope to do as well as you have done in this position. And I look back to who's been running this committee. Tom Drumheller was running this committee when I came on board, and he was amazing. And I just kind of appreciate the ability to follow in those footsteps. And this is an important committee for the city and how we spend the money that the city raises through the transient lodging tax. It's important to the residents, the businesses, and the city itself. So this is, I'm looking forward to this one-year term.
That's Kelly Ennis, she's the director of KSFO.
Oh, she is. I hadn't recognized her. Last time we were all bundled up outside the school, so I didn't recognize her. So, sorry, I didn't ask. I didn't have anything from the minutes. Jennifer, my God, the notes you take.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I am shrinking them down.
Well, you spoil us.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
spoiling us.
And I've also spoiled myself because I used to have so much in there, I could find anything, but then I'm like, okay, no. Because the minutes are supposed to just be a broad overview.
Right.
And we do have a great recording now,
Yeah.
so I have
Right,
used
right.
Zoom quite a few times.
I bet.
I find nothing to change, but I do want to commend you, even when they were more detailed, the inclusion of critical differences in what's discussed, so that some of the potential balance points can, maybe be revisited in future applications. At least we've known what we have talked about, particularly where we disagree.
If there are no edits, could I get a motion to approve?
I move that we accept the minutes as written.
Thank you,
A
Jim.
second?
Thank you. All to approve, say aye.
Aye.
So approved. So we have two people missing today, right? Greg and Greg.
Greg and Greg.
Do they get a hold of you and say that they wouldn't be able to be here? or-
Greg Bell did. He
Okay.
let me know ahead of time that there was a slight chance he might be able to make it, but he sent an email earlier that said it's just not gonna happen. And I haven't heard from Greg now.
Second unexcused, I believe.
I think, I have to look back at my
Well,
records.
if we look back to the August 23rd minutes, he's not listed as excused.
No, he isn't. And do we know if Greg is out of the hospital and okay?
Yes, he sent an email. Actually, it ended up going to the whole committee. What did it say?
Oh, it did? Why didn't you get it? I wonder if it's in my spam folder. What?
Is that Greg Bell?
Yeah. Oh, he just said, please forgive my absence at today's meeting, still recovering from surgery. And today is one of those down days, sorry. Oh, you know what, I don't know when he replied, all of it actually would go to you guys, because it was to the Tourism and Arts Commission group. And you can't email that group from outside. But
Oh,
yeah.
good.
He just said he's still down from,
Okay,
it's one of his down days.
yeah, another, I don't know what the issue was with something anyway in his heart, so I've been worried about him, and I haven't seen him outside the house.
I just- wow.
Okay, now,
Um,
city manager.
All right, so,
And who abandoned us?
I saw he was on the agenda and left.
Bruce asked me to kind of go over this with you guys. I handed out and emailed out the 2 pages regarding the transient room tax from Lori's quarterly reports. I do have a couple questions for her about the money coming back, because I believe Tracy Abel returned $13,000. And then she also has Tracy Abel's distributions listed up there, which those should all be zero now because she's not getting more money. So I'll talk to Lori about that one. It's in the one I just handed out.
It is? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Close to that.
On the bottom.
Yeah.
Hello, okay. Yeah, Tracy gave us all the money back.
And so she has that Coaster sent some money back, and I know that Tracy sent money back, so I'm gonna follow up with Lori on that one. And since we're talking about that, Andrew Tonry emailed me, he has to cancel Comedy Fest.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, I sent that in an email, so he will be returning the funds, Lori told me how much that would be, and I'll shoot him an email.
So Get Lit and Comedy Festival are canceled.
Both completely canceled.
Anything else? Or is that it?
That's the only ones I've heard of.
Well, the coaster had a couple of things that couldn't happen.
Right, right. Okay.
And the Chamber
Catholic is going, so that's not gone away.
culinary event.
Culinary's been postponed another year.
Hmm.
We're gonna have
I
a
thought
hell of a
there
savings
was
account.
something. Yeah, we are.
Hell of a savings account.
Well, I noticed again, the welcome sign has been replaced as it is leaning now also.
What's really bad? It's so embarrassing. I drove by it the other day and
I
it's
was
just like,
just thinking about knocking it down, so.
just to make it, at least it's less embarrassing that way. Oh my
There are
God.
2 trackers right there. You can just-
Yeah, right, just get in
I
one.
don't think I would need one.
Oh, you would.
You can probably just go over and do like that.
Just lean.
Okay. Anything else on this that you wanted to point out to us?
No, I asked Lori if there was any highlights that we should mention, and she said it's pretty self-explanatory. Which I don't really understand all of it, so.
You didn't take down notes that they said that was gonna come this night, did you?
No, it's on the recording.
It's on the recording
All right.
and live stream. So if it happens, they know where the police are gonna go right to. So we have $606,000 for distributions, but we're not all of that's gonna be distributed.
Right. Because you guys like to keep a little bit,
Well, yeah, but, and we're getting money back from events that aren't happening.
yeah.
I wonder what the savings account looks like. Am I missing that somewhere? Where the reserve is?
Isn't it all in one fund? You just don't spend it?
I think
So you have
so.
an ending fund balance? I don't think there's a separate
Well-
fund, is there?
I don't know if there's a reserve.
Money was loaned to the city sometime back, and I don't believe we've received all
That
So-
one received
of it.
the
102?
Yeah, so they have the loan payment on here. And this was the
3rd year.
3rd year.
I believe
So that's the
what-
$34,000.
Yes, it's the last of the 3.
Got it, okay, loan payment, got it.
This is kind of where you guys always wanted to be, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
have a whole year's worth of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with funding for, the stuff that did go on, there's still that much money left. And that was with the city, the city has, so is that what the payment on that loan, 34,000, how many more payments do they have to make on that?
I think it's
That is it?
Zero.
May I ask what the typical balance is this time of year, if all the events are going on? Do we try and, max it out or?
Well, we always wanna have some money reserved. So no, not maxed out, but I would say it's closer to like 300,000 versus
Okay.
600 this time, just.
Well, but isn't that a accumulation of about 30 or 40 grand per year?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when we got to the grant program where that was given away, or not given away, but it was part of the grant program,
Right.
took us back down to pretty low. Which is
Almost
why I'm
zero.
wondering how we got to $600.
Right.
well, there's stuff that hasn't happened.
So,
For the last 2
yeah,
years.
so you would subtract this out of that, right? The
Yeah.
391,
I suppose so, except for there are things on here that aren't happening, but
yeah, other than the ones you
You're right.
mentioned.
that
So
does
you-
make sense.
So you take that, let's call it 391 for now, but a couple of them are
Right.
being refunded. And you'd subtract that from the
For the
606, wouldn't you?
606, because they are gonna be distributed.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
just have
yes.
it there.
They just
Oh,
have that
But the 391 is the full,
total,
yes, of all 4 quarters, right?
Right.
We're still receiving quarterly
correct,
payments from transient lodging tax, so I think that,
so it still is pretty good.
yeah, it still is pretty good, so it's not, I don't think it's straight 608 minus 391. I think it's probably 608 minus, 3/4.
350, 340-ish,
Yeah,
90 off, 300.
yeah.
yeah.
And do we know how much the last quarter we were up? For revenues, budgeted revenue?
So on the back side,
Budget and actual, oh, wow,
yeah, so they,
damn,
yeah,
dang, look at that. It's been a very, very good year.
and there's still 2 more quarters,
Right.
like, yeah.
So it isn't just me.
So we budgeted for 400. That was the budgeted total number for this year, 400,799.
Correct.
And what number did we fund to? We funded to,
391,776.
okay.
And we're at 303, 3 2/4.
Okay. Was this the only thing that we wanted to cover under number 3?
Yeah,
Okay. Anybody have anything else on this?
Well, just a comment on the event, special event applications for permits with the city.
oh,
You'll notice in our packets, the multi-page checklists for the departments that have to see that within the city. My only comment is it's time consuming and is a significant burden. Oh,
The
yes,
special event permit application?
yes.
Is it a big packet?
in the regular.
Is this a new document? Is this a new?
Yeah, that is new. So Julie, that one's in the regular packet. Sorry,
Oh,
I was a little bit discombobulated.
no,
with this
don't
packet.
apologize, it's fine, I just need to know where to look.
So this is something new that council actually put in our code. So now there's a new code portion that requires a special event permit. And one of the things that will make it seem a little less overwhelming, because it is a bit overwhelming when you first look at it, is there are criteria for each levels. So we met with Tracy last year when we were hoping things were moving forward. And once we like dialed it down, you realize, okay, if you have less than 50 feet, or if you're in a 50, I'm trying to find my copy.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the questions.
50 to 100,
50.
200. More than 50, but less than 200. Minor special event.
Yeah, so
threshold.
when you're in the minor special event, you're only finishing pages 1 to 3. So you're just doing the first couple pages. So for private property or minor events, you're only completing 3 pages. So it's not quite so bad. It's when you get into the major special event, which is more than 200 people or a street closure, that's when you have to fill out the whole thing. And there's no charge for nonprofits, so we require this information, but we don't charge you the fee.
What's the fee if it's a huge wedding?
There's a fee
So-
structure.
Private property special event is $50, minor special event is $100, and major is $200.
Oh, okay.
And this is also one of the things, so this permit, if you wanted to have a food truck at an event, so this has happened at the chamber several times, and you know how before you didn't allow food trucks. Through the special event process, you can get a food truck.
Cool. That's
So
nice.
this opens up for a lot of other things. This is to let the city know what's going on, also,
I mean, how, does anybody know how, this seems like this is kind of a normal thing for any size city to want to do.
to keep an eye,
Well, yeah,
to see what's
otherwise-
happening. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know,
it's,
this doesn't seem that bad to me.
So I have a question about this, the timeline for submission. Should this be, because it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't really say like submit 1 month in advance, or
yeah.
2 weeks in advance, or the day before, or the morning of.
well, it goes through a whole routing process, which you can see on one of the pages.
Right.
So they need to submit it early enough to get the approval process. And I'm the one that actually coordinates this, so it'll come to me. And we try to meet with the department heads on Wednesdays. We have a meeting and I pass it around. Everyone usually can sign off on it. I have to actually post that we're having a special event
Okay.
per our municipal code for, I think, 7 days before the event. At the post office and online. And I have a little form that we fill out saying this event's happening, here's where the impact is. I mean, if it comes in 3 days beforehand, then I'll only post it for the 3 days, but it is one that gets routed around, so it's not something I can turn over in a day.
So are you gonna, would you say this should be put in 30 days before the event ideally?
Ideally, yeah.
Okay.
And people who are used to doing events, I think would realize like, of course, we gotta get one in. And this is new. Last year was the first year we tried to get people to do it. Of course, it was still COVID.
Right.
And we're working with people, working through it. Tracy was really our guinea pig. She was the first
She's
one
the
who
perfect
applied.
one to be your
Yeah.
guinea pig.
It was great. She came in and I was a bit overwhelmed by it. And then when we walked through and we're like, oh, really? You just have to fill out the first couple pages. It was much easier once you realize.
Well, having done the OLCC paperwork in the early days of Sabre, this isn't that big of a deal.
Right.
We're very fun.
And there is an actual dedicated webpage on our website for special event permits where people can go and look and see what's happening. The other part that's nice about this is when somebody gets a phone call, the police department gets a phone call about some situation that they can look at the website and be like, oh yeah, that's a wedding. That's so-and-so, you know, they have a permit, they're allowed to be there if somebody complains about something. So it helps inform everybody of what's going on. So a little bit separate from that, when I sent out the packets, I sent out last year's packet, which just changed the dates, and then this morning, I'll be honest, I did this morning, I realized I was gonna make changes to the packets and forgot, so that's what I handed out now, where I added the, changed the front of it,
Mhm.
where it says, we wanted to put the events coordinator person first, the contact information, because it was kind of confusing who I was supposed to contact. And then I also added language in there about the special event permit.
Okay, and that's this part that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the deadline for getting anything is June something, is that, do I have that right?
So
When I looked.
we can talk about the schedule as well, to see if you guys, what you think about that.
I saw it here.
So we're on par, if we're good with the application, we're on schedule to have it out April 5th, which is a normal time. And then I have the due date as June 7th, which was the same time frame as last year. And then I can have the packets to everyone a couple days later. I could probably get it, is June 7th a Saturday? No, just a Friday, no. I can even get them possibly on the 8th if I get everything at a good time. It's easier, everyone's really enjoying the email feature. I'm very much enjoying the email feature because I can package everything up and send a huge print job and
Sure.
I can get it a lot quicker. But I also want to make sure I have a little bit of time in there. So if everyone's good with that, the one thing we'll have to decide though today to put on the application is when we want to have the applicant interviews. Because we put that in the application.
And that's the June here for the two
Right.
interview days and then the meeting and legal review. Okay, and then when will we get, oh, here's the evals of March 15th. Don't we have evals till?
Okay, so yeah, initially this meeting was going to be before the evals were due.
Right.
And so the evals were due yesterday. That was the other packet I just handed out to everyone.
Oh,
It was actually perfect timing. There are 2 groups that didn't get their evals in yet, and they will be getting to me. One of them, I think the chamber will get to me on Thursday, and gallery group, I think it was Monday.
So this is CBAA.
And so everyone's in that.
Oh, that's Flush Lux, okay. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then it goes to there. But nothing for Sabre.
no, there's something for Sabre in there. I'm pretty sure he's saying something. It's only, I think this was only like a page long.
Wow.
Pretty sure it's not here. Okay, let me check my file.
That's the cottage tour.
Sabre.
last one is the theater. So-
Okay, then I messed up. I'll get that printed and to you guys. I do have it.
Okay.
And
Which one are we missing?
Saber Cannon Beach is the
Oh.
one Clatsop County animal.
Oh, gotcha.
When I put stuff together, I completely missed it. So I will send some to the printer right now. And then I will shoot it to you, Libby.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. I thought I was doing so good today.
We all have birthdays.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my day for you guys has been the entire tech. Everything. I had the wrong date. I told you the wrong date. I told Greg the wrong date. Yeah. I'm gonna get it all out in one meeting though.
There you go. That's the way to do it. So we have to have our calendars out to figure out the,
And we can schedule a meeting to review these as well, the midterms.
yes.
Sure.
So we can set up a meeting to review midterms, we can set up the interview dates, we can kind of plan our schedule. 2, 3, 4.
What is does the farmer's market start on the 22nd or the 21st or the 28th? You know?
It would either be the 14th or the 21st.
Oh, okay. And you're doing it again this year?
Yeah. So but the first one is usually pretty slow,
Right.
so I don't mind missing the first one. So we could do like the 14th and the 15th, which is Tuesday or Wednesday, or we could do the 13th and 14th.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because it'd be
'Cause we
nice,
should do-
before we get too far into summer,
Right.
because that week, for me, of course, I'm saying this, we haven't had a slow week, but I'm assuming it really starts to heat up that last week of June. It starts to become summer, then.
Right. Does Monday, Tuesday work better, or Tuesday, Wednesday work better?
I would vote Monday, Tuesday, but I can do either.
And we're talking about noon to 4.
Both days, and then the third day is usually, well, it's usually a big discussion day, and that's probably about at least 2 hours, probably.
Has that historically been a third day in a row, or is it a week off?
It's usually a week.
Yeah, we got a week off, so we have a chance to go through
Yeah, that's
everything
right.
and put the numbers in the spreadsheet and all that stuff.
Okay, I got calendars up so I can check for rooms. Let me go grab that off the copier real quick.
Thank you.
Well, I got on the 14th, so.
I'm also a Monday, Tuesday preferred, if possible, it can be that flexible.
Jim, do you have a preference?
It's flexible, but Monday, Tuesday will
Yeah.
work for me.
Just let us plan on that, if that works better for you. It's probably on
It's
13th
free,
and 14th.
yeah, with Libby too.
Okay, so what day are we looking at?
Monday, Tuesdays,
I'm looking at-
thank you.
There we
Okay,
go.
so in June,
14 or 2021.
okay. Get rid of Bruce's so I can see everything. 13, 14, 2021. And we do afternoons, so that wouldn't impact that. Let me see.
Noon to
what's-
4, is that what you said?
Noon to 4.
Is what we've usually done. Oh, yeah, it says right there, actually.
Yeah, the council chambers is not booked for the 13th or 14th in the afternoon. Or the 20th, yeah.
Well, how about the following Monday, then the 20th,
For
for the
Third day.
the,
the
your,
third day?
We're good on that too. Nobody's in the conference room, council chambers.
Okay, so let's plan on the 13th, 14th, and then the 20th.
And you want to stick with 1 o'clock on the 20th? So that gives you plenty of time to.
Sure.
but we're noon to 4 on the.
Noon to
other
4 on-
one.
yep.
And they at 4.
And after this meeting, I'll send everyone an email with everything too.
For same alerts, on the 20th. Attack on the 20th, will start at 1.
Correct.
Probably till, I'm gonna put till 4 just in case. Started by 7 hours here.
Okay, and then 1 PM on the 20th.
Yep.
That's correct.
And that's the one from Ware attends.
Yes. She was gonna attend today, but it's such a planning one. We said, you don't need to. Yeah.
And then, city council, that where we talk about it with city council is on the 12th, so we usually like to have some people attend that meeting in case they've got questions, is that right?
Yep, so we'd like somebody to come. Council will have all the packet information, but just have someone there in case they have questions. And then they will vote on August 2nd.
And those are meetings are now 6 p.m., is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yay.
Yeah, it was hard when one
Five
was,
is so hard, and it was like, which one is it this week?
and 7 was hard.
Yeah, 7 o'clock, I'm gonna be at home with a glass of wine in my hand.
So do we want to schedule you guys a meeting to discuss the midterms? I know we're getting into spring break, but because we can actually push that off to May or June if you wanted, because there's no impact on the midterms, right? It's just you guys, you want to do it before before they do interviews to make sure that you understand.
Right,
Yeah. So, and then I'll have the other 2 next week. I'll get those out. Actually, I'm off next week, so it might be the following week when you guys get them. So what day would you guys like to schedule your midterm?
And that's just discussion among us, do the applicants come?
Do they in the past, or do you guys just discuss it?
I don't think so on midterms.
I don't think so either. I mean, they
They
can
were
come,
always invited and
Right.
effectively no one showed,
right,
with the exception, I think, of the History Center one.
yeah,
Well,
I think we remember, sometimes people would attend, but not always, and sometimes we were discussing it with nobody else in the room.
Yeah.
right,
I know I'll be in the minority, I'd rather do Friday, but everybody's gonna say no to that. But I can make whatever work.
So what period of time were you looking at? Like, give me a
It's-
week or a week or 2 window.
We have any time, actually. It's really up to you guys. I don't know if you want to do
So now that
anything.
we have the midterms, it's kind of review them and then get back together.
Yeah, review them and get back together. So there's no decision making with these. It's just so you guys can discuss it. So,
and then the last midterms due Monday, or expected Monday,
Right.
if they're.
What about the last
Monday the
week of
21st.
March?
Sure, like Monday or the week of
Monday
the
or
28th.
Tuesday would actually be not bad,
Okay,
if that's
That's
at
not
all
too bad.
possible. How about you?
the 28th or the 29th.
and the council chambers is available all day. So if earlier works better for you guys, we can do early. Later seems to usually work better.
The afternoon, the 29th of Tuesday does not work so well for me at the Cedar Board meeting.
I'm sorry, what time is this one again, evening one?
It could be any time.
I mean, I would actually, morning would be, I wouldn't mind morning. Downtown not open until 11. Is morning work okay for anybody else?
Morning's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm completely flexible.
We want to do like 9 o'clock on
9
Monday, the
o'clock on
28th.
Monday?
Does that work for you, Libby?
8 o'clock, Monday, the 28th. Yeah, that works. for me.
9.
9.
o'clock.
9, yeah, that totally works.
Oh,
Okay.
fabulous, okay.
Perfect.
Midterm.
And then for the ones that is coming next week, I'll just keep an eye on my email, and as soon as they come in, I'll just forward them to you guys, so that way you can review them before the 28th.
So it's March 28th, right, at 9 AM.
Correct.
Fabulous. That'd be great.
And since we're setting dates, we can do the August and September meetings if you guys want now, that way it's done, it's on everyone's calendars.
Yeah.
We're kind of on a roll,
Now we're done. Okay, and the August is
so that would be to review final evals.
evals. August. Boy, that seems like a long way away,
It does.
We'll be here just like that. Is that my calendar? It's, how can that be? Oh, stupid things. Yeah.
I'm busy on the 30th. of August.
It's gonna be gone
That's a
now,
Tuesday.
it's not on my calendar.
And the following week is Labor Day, so it's a short week.
Yeah,
Right,
the week of the 22nd? Does that work for people?
That works for me.
Will we have everything that we need for that?
So fine,
23rd?
the finals are due July 30th.
Oh, so that's plenty of time.
Yeah.
So should we say Monday, the 22nd?
Oops, my calendar. Monday, the
Anybody
22nd
have
of
a
August.
conflict with that?
It will be 22nd.
It's really early to be setting this
Yeah,
for
I know.
August.
Well,
Well, at
it's-
least it gets something.
I have an employee that's gonna be gone for a week, and I can't remember what week it's gonna be, but at that point, hopefully I'll have someone to discuss it, to take care of it.
I'm gone the entire week before, so that's perfect for me on the 22nd.
Okay,
And Jim, you actually won't be here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you term out
I'm
in
history.
July. Yeah.
you may just want to come and visit.
Audience members are always
I
welcome.
may,
Okay. well,
as an outside auditor.
You can.
ODD. It's ODD.
There you go.
Is this a 1 o'clock meeting kind of a thing?
I'm good with one if that works for you guys.
One works.
And that doesn't mess up your,
No.
oh no, because it's Monday,
Yeah.
right? It's not messing up your farmer's market.
And then after the process, typically you guys meet in September's to discuss the guidelines, goals, suggestions, concerns, kind of the postmortem.
Postmortem in September. I wish I could say I was gonna be in Europe, but I don't think I'm gonna say that.
That would be nice.
It really is to be in Europe.
Later in the month.
Nikki? You said
Yeah.
Tuesdays were bad for you?
At that point, the farmer's market, last one will be the 27th, so I won't do the 20th or the 27th, which is.
Not many people.
No. So either the 19th or the 19th kind of seems like it works.
Yeah,
Anybody have a conflict that they're aware of for the 19th of
September.
September? You know, it's
Nope.
it's a Monday,
Oh, that's perfect.
1 PM again?
let's do that.
And then on the schedule, I had a note. So since I've been doing this, we've had COVID, everything's just been really weird. And looking through what it said was, after the September finals is when I prepare the agreements and execute the award, go through everything after you guys do the final review. But council votes for this in August. And so last year, once council voted for the award, I sent everyone their award letter, their agreement, they signed it. But technically about this, I was supposed to wait till after the review, the final review, based off of this schedule. Is that a necessary? I mean, you already voted on it, you guys have already decided how much they're gonna get.
Right.
In June,
Yeah,
so I don't know why,
We would need to.
but the dates are always weird because some finals come in after this, and so people are asking for money before their events even
yeah,
started.
and now it's even more because events are so,
Right,
so if you guys are good, I'd like to just not do that after the September final review. I'll just go ahead, once council has approved the recommendation, I'll send out everyone's letters out, let them know, because it takes them a few days to get things back to me, and I mean, if that doesn't impact anything for you
I
guys,
think it does.
okay. Because they already know they're gonna get the money, might as well get the paperwork done.
Right, right.
Okay, perfect. I didn't realize that until this year when I went through it and I was like, oh, I did it wrong, but it made sense. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Great.
Oh, no.
is here.
I did add on that with the, on the application, asking them to submit one attachment, because one of the things I noticed with the submittals is they have 10 different attachments, 3 different attachments, and I have to figure out what order what is, you know, and so I just added, please only attach one attachment, so that's the only other thing I added to that, to make it easier, because I worried, did I put it in the right order,
Right,
you know?
unless they need the attachments. Thing 1, thing 2, thing 3.
The History Center did that, they sent all their budget attachments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which was nice, because then I can merge it, but a couple times,
Oh, man.
there was an Excel document, the print area wasn't set correctly, and then you're, you know, I don't wanna mess up somebody's grant application and.
But this has nothing bearing on it, but I've never completed the tax funding one, but a lot of forms from the city come in. Like you get an inch and a half of space to write a paragraph, and Acrobat's not set up to move with it, or whatever that function is called. So hopefully this is, because that's super frustrating.
I think, Rusty, did you make this like a fillable one once? I'll have to look.
I can't remember, I think it is. When you type your name and the line goes around.
Yeah.
Next turn, return.
Yeah, there's 2 different ways. One of them will actually dynamically change it, and the other one actually will drop lines.
Yeah.
It's just a setting though.
Yeah, we can play with it, because we have to change it anyways with the revisions, so the PDF wasn't fillable, let's see what happened in the Word document.
We're slowly working on getting all of them fillable.
Yeah. Because it annoys us too when we have to do it, we feel for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the line moves on this one.
So the event application is part of the submission package, I see.
Well, so what I did on that was, so the old city event permit application, it said to include a copy of it, but not everyone's gonna be filling out their event application when they submit their tax,
Right,
right? So the checkbox at the end, I think I just wrote, is it the new, on the revised one. So in the one that's in your, I handed out with the yellow. Yeah, so on the checklist at the back, I went ahead and said that you have to, your permit application must be approved prior to the event if you fall in these categories.
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
Can I ask for clarification on one thing? I'm sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit, but I know we said the comedy festival and the Get Lit weren't gonna happen this year, is that right? And was there the difference then was larger, was that coming out of the theater? Or,
I think that maybe the theater didn't have every event that they were gonna have.
yeah,
Down towards the bottom of that budget sheet, it shows the amount.
oh, gotcha,
I can't remember exactly what it was, but their $44,000 or whatever it was that we granted.
yeah,
A third of it, they weren't able to do because of indoors and.
gotcha,
I think Martini did,
or something.
right,
okay,
they did plan for Pink Martini, and that did not happen.
That,
And that
yeah,
would, yeah, because they returned 20,000. so
yeah, so that was probably.
Right,
So it was
okay.
And one of their events that made up their total did not occur.
Okay, thank you. I was just trying to figure out what that differential we were talking about earlier was.
glad you came back to this, because I was thinking about this. If the culinary festival is postponed, is it postponed still in this cycle? Or is it postponed to a new cycle, to a new year?
Let's postpone to, that's a good question, because of the fiscal year thing.
Right.
Well, was it even, was that one that was scheduled for, I gotta look up
It
the
was
app.
scheduled for 2022, and then they decided to not do it. Correct me if I'm wrong from what you know. Scheduled for 2022, and pretty early they said, there's no way we can do this. And I think the new date is 2023, and it seems to me like it's May, but it's been a while since I've seen that on the schedule.
So if that's correct, they would need to refund them, would they not?
I would think so, but remember, we had this question last time when they were coming and asking us for more money, even though we've given them money.
Right,
for an event that had been postponed.
Right,
And, because I remember asking the question, it's like, wait a second, I mean, yes, there was some planning money and some stuff that might have been spent,
right,
but you're not gonna have food, you're not gonna have this, you're not gonna have that, so that money should be coming back, and they kind of looked like deer in the headlights at me, like, what do you mean? It's like, well,
right.
your event didn't happen.
You didn't have speakers.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So they shouldn't, they should be giving money back as well,
And reapplying.
yes, and reapplying.
and there should be a midterm evaluation.
That was one that will be here Thursday.
Okay. So I'm gonna circle that one and just kind of,
Because that is an odd one, just because it's moved now twice.
Yeah.
Interesting to see if the chamber has done anything with the welcome sign, now that I'm thinking about chamber meetings I've sat in.
It's, I can tell you, it's come up with coffee with the counselor and the
Okay.
Parks Committee. It's come up several times lately.
Good or bad.
well, it's a
people
joint
are-
project between the city and the chamber.
Yeah, it would be.
correctly, So they need to be talking and working together on
Right, and we haven't heard anything from the chamber. And so when they brought it up, we said the chamber got a TAP grant, you know, they said it's gonna take a couple of years. They were gonna do a lot of planning at the beginning, so.
But I mean, I've sat in the chamber
Wow.
board meetings and it only comes up like as a budget item, and nobody's
Oh.
said, like, nobody's said, I'm
Active
gonna take
planning.
this on, or, yeah,
that. That's a good
so.
question for Jim.
That's a good question for Jim, because somebody really probably needs to take that on as a project, probably not Jim, is my guess. Because he's got enough on his plate to be able to like take that ball and run it down the field, because otherwise nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
Okay. I'll ask him what, if anything, is being done on that. And that doesn't mean that he
Well,
has
you're
to
on
be,
the board too.
right, he doesn't have
yeah.
to be spearheading the project.
Right,
but
exactly.
What's happening there? Okay,
Wish I had a good idea, or I'd take it on, I'd love to see the welcome sign.
and I'm gonna need Julie.
I'm gonna Julie to take that one on, yeah, only I had a good idea.
So should we get to the midterms, or we're not gonna do the midterms, we're gonna do the midterms in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we'll
Well,
do it at the end of March, so that way you have everybody's information.
What else is on the agenda?
That was it.
Wow. Less than an hour? What?
It's the new world, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you wish? I have a feeling the next meeting is gonna be over an hour. Although it's just those little workouts, it's not that bad, it's the big meetings that are the.
Well, with the midterms, we'll find out exactly what people are planning with dates, and then maybe that's when you guys can make decisions, if it's not happening this year, turn your money back, or,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Cool.
Does anybody have anything else? Right, we're adjourned at 3:50.
All right,
Yay.
thank you.
Thanks, Libby.
Great, thank you. See you all in person on the 28th. Thanks.
Oh, very corporate.